They're getting away with murder. Pharma has a lot of lobbies, a lot of lobbyists, and a lot of power.
Remember that? Well, it turns out drug companies aren't the only ones still getting away with what the president called murder. They're starting the new year by using pricing as a weapon. Amgen, look at this, hiking its rheumatoid arthritis drug Enbrel by 9.7%. We have Biogen tacking on another 8% onto its multiple sclerosis drugs, and among them the popular Avonex. And the most stunning price hike of all? Next Source, adding 1,400% onto the price of its 40-year-old life-extending cancer drug, Lomustine. Many accusing the company of price gouging cancer patients. But hey, this is just business. And while President Trump has said something's got to be done and patients are furious, shareholders no doubt are thrilled by the idea that higher drug prices might mean bigger profits and ostensibly stronger stock shares. Which side wins out here? Chip Davis is the man who represents generic drug makers and is a consumer advocate. Chip, listen, the Biogens of the world and the Amgens and the Next Sources, nobody's stopping them right now. The president has given pretty strong lip service, but nobody's stopping them from doing what they're doing, and their stock prices are up right now. I just checked Amgen. It's up more than 1.5%. Biogen's up 5%. Mm-hmm.
Liz, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. This is not the first time that you have seen innovator or branded companies early in the year take price increases. Oftentimes they may be associated with 1 or 2 price increases per year. That needs to be juxtaposed, quite frankly, against, and it's a little ironic to say this, a majority of the prescriptions in the United States are written currently for generic medicines, 89%. And we are currently, with understanding the level of sensitivity that the public and politicians have to the issue of drug costs, we are currently experiencing an unprecedented level of price deflation in the generic sector. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the increases in prices that you referenced amongst the branded industry would be having an even far greater impact. 319
drugs right now have no competition, no generic competition. If you just triangulate that, and my dad was a doctor, used to talk about this all the time, is the FDA dragging its feet here? This was supposed to be a new FDA that moved more quickly. What's going on?
Yeah, I actually think you're beginning to see the fruits of the efforts of new FDA leadership. Commissioner Gottlieb was confirmed, I believe, back in May of last year, and immediately launched what he referred to as a drug competition action plan, recognizing, quite frankly, that there's only from an overarching perspective, 2 ways you're going to ultimately lower prescription drug costs. Mm-hmm. One is greater intervention by the government, and one is by increasing market-based competition, predominantly through generics. He believes in the market-based system, and as such has done things like begin to prioritize applications where there are no current generics. He has published that list, Liz, that you referenced of 319 drugs, some of which are no longer the best standard of care, but others of which may be of interest to generic manufacturers. Okay. And I know that there are manufacturers looking at those products currently.
When EpiPen's maker, Mylan, was busted, or at least people noticed that they were hiking a drug that's been around since the 1970s, this device for severely allergic people who will die if they don't have it. And they hadn't even put any money into it. It's the same thing as when you bought it in the 70s, more or less. They were attacked by Congress. They were attacked by shareholders. They were attacked by civil suits and things like that. Why don't these companies learn from that? You see Martin Shkreli, the pharma bro, and the CEO here, Heather Bresch of Mylan, put in the hot seat. And some of the, I mean, he's got a jail sentence here. And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, are these people not thinking? But on the other hand, if I'm a shareholder, I say, wait a minute. The pricing is based on development costs and regulatory agency fees, and it's fair. What do you say?
Well, I think one of the things that we've tried to strive for here in the U.S. is a balance between ensuring we're the most innovative country in the world with the ability to develop new products, but also at a point in time when intellectual property rights are supposed to expire, that generics and now biosimilars, which are alternative competitive products to specialty and biologics, are supposed to enter the market, creating commoditized-like pricing, often defined as 80 to 85% off the originator product, and ultimately leading to robust market-based competition. Ultimately, policymakers are going to have to choose whether or not they want direct government intervention, things like negotiating prices in Medicare Part D, importation, or adopting more policies that in those scenarios that you just described, Liz, including the EpiPen scenario, which, by the way, that product was patented with 4 patents on the delivery system. So yes, the ingredient had been around, but it was a patented branded product. So the reality is ultimately policymakers will have to decide whether there are things that they can do to enhance the market, or simply they're going to revert to the heavy hand of government, which is something we don't support.
Chip, keep fighting for the people and for generics. Thanks so much.